Hello, knock knock. Anybody there? I hope someone is here already. Early birds. You see, early birds eat the worms, so I'm hoping that some people are there and they're going to be a part of this today. So who's coming on? Who's telling us they're there? Oh, okay. Don't worry about the shakes and all that. Hello? Knock knock. Who's around? Who's around? Who's around? I'm waiting. Someone is there. You just let me know so I can actually get to put you on. And like I said, always, I'll hold it on last. You can actually get on live as well. So I've given the option for people to come live if they have to. Who's there? Who's there? Okay. So that we should be snappy today so we can get things done very fast. The live session is not going to be long. I don't want to take so much of the time. Give me your time today to be here on Real Inspiration and to escape depression. So you don't want to get in depression in the first place before trying. That's what I'm doing on my YouTube channel so far. Or for people who are already in it and want to get out, or some people who are close to getting into it and they want to get out. So you can actually get on. We're also doing that on this Facebook page as well, so that everybody can get access to it, because a lot of people don't get access to our YouTube channel. I'm not going to talk about this yet. And when I was going through it, everybody was like, "Princess, are you serious right now?" Sure, I'm very serious. So I'm going to people go get on that week. Because we might get to use how can I put it? We might get to use a little bit, not so much of mathematics, workout. I know not everybody loves maths, but I really love maths. I love figures. I'm that lady who really loves playing with figures. So today, the topic for today is setting standards. Set your standards. I don't know if someone has done any research about it, or someone is ready to be a part of telling us what setting standards did to them or did for them, and how they went through it and all that. So I'm hoping that people can get on, and so we can get to start their session this beautiful evening. Yeah. Is anyone there? Is anyone there? Is anyone there? Let's get to know that you're there so we can say hi to you, and then we have today. I hope it's not the network that's giving us a hard time. I hope not. So who's coming? Yay! Someone came. Who's there? Who's there? Knock knock, knock knock. So yes, Who is telling me they're there? I want to know you're there. I want to know. I want to know. So just click a hi on the comment section and I'll get to welcome you on board so I can know you're there and I can give you a very special shout out. Yay! Who's there? Who's on? Oh, can you hear me? I might be talking and the volume is not quite good, so maybe I would need to fix it or something. Can you hear me? I need to be sure. I'm seeing respond. So I know I'm not talking to myself. Of course, I'm not talking to myself because eventually, when we send this video out, a lot of people are going to be listening to it. But I want to be sure that my voice is actually very audible. So who's there? Who's there? Who's there? Who's there? I want to know if you're there so I can see some people on, but I really can't see the comments, so I'm not sure why that is happening. What's going on? Is something happening that I'm not aware of? Okay. So let me just say something about my life session. You know, I studied maths in school like till high school, and a little bit of it in the university because of economics. So there was a lot of maths in economics. That's how I got to like economics, which I didn't like originally. And because I love figures, it helped me scale through it, and it was really beautiful. So when I started seeing economics as maths, it started becoming beautiful. So there's going to be a little bit of math and statistics today, but I'm going to make it to be as simple as possible so any other person, haters of maths, can get to love maths a little bit. And lovers of maths like me and others are going to just have fun all the way. Okay, so I want to just see maybe the first two people who get to tell me they're on, and we're just going to start. Seriously. So, yeah, today we're connecting life issues with mathematics. You know, sometimes we used to get really mad in school and we'll look at some things like cot theta, sin theta, and we're like, what is this going to do to my future? Like, what am I going to use it for? I saw a picture some days back. I think it's on Facebook. A teacher was drawing a grasshopper and one guy was so mad, like, what is this supposed to do to my life right now? And you'll be so dumb. Like, it's like you're so dumb if you can't actually draw that grasshopper the way your teacher drew it on the board. So we used to struggle a lot. But then there are some things that we studied. We were mad at the teachers then, but it still works in our lives. It still helps us in one way or the other. But there are lots of things that were kind of useless. Trust me, I can also say that. But not totally and completely. Okay, so let's get on and on and on. Let's get on with it. Let's get on with this. So I just need two people to say hi. If you just say hi, we're going to start up. I keep doing this. I guess it's a reflex for me. As long as it works and I'm on Facebook Live, right? Who's there? Who's ready? Can you actually hear me? That's what I'm worried about right now. I could just start, but I want to be sure someone is getting me. Because I'm surprised why it's like this. Sorry about that. So sorry. Who's there? I just want to be sure that you're getting me loud and clear. Oh, this isn't happening right now. Is it a network? What's happening? We have to go on like this. I'm Princess Clitin, the queen of hearts and smiles. So I'm going to keep smiling on, knowing that this is working. I really, really trust it's working. But I need someone to give me a signal. I need someone to let me know they're there. I don't know what's happening. I keep seeing people getting on and off. I don't know if it's a network or what's going on. So our topic for today is setting standards. Setting standards. So what are the standards you've set for yourself? Is it standards for work? Is it standards for school? Is it standards for life? What standards have you set? And the truth is, standards are very, very important. Like, totally and completely important. They help us stay focused. They help us lead a healthy life. Some people might not really accept that, but it's the blunt truth. And the truth is, I guess setting of standards should have been the first topic that I was going to say on this, our journey of how to escape or how to stay away from depression. It should have been the first topic. And the truth is, all these topics are actually interconnected. So let me kind of give you the connection as to why I'm saying this, because most of the times it's because we don't have standards at all, or we're trying to bend our standards, that makes us not to even ask questions. Yeah. So we don't even have questions because we don't have standards. And when we don't have standards and we don't ask questions because we don't even have them in the first place, we get to give blank checks, which leads us into trouble. So that's how it flows. So like I was saying, it's like this was supposed to be the first topic ever, but it was as the Spirit leads, yeah? So I had to do it the way I did it. And today we're talking about setting standards. So if you can hear me loud and clear, just let me know, please, so that I can go on and every other person is going to catch up with us. Sorry, people. Sorry. Okay, we have Semerimi Dozier Zoye. Okay. Forgive my pronunciation. So can you hear me? Can you actually hear me? If you can hear me, then we can get on. That's just what I wanted to know. If you can hear me, just say, yes, I can. And then we're just going to step on. So like I was saying, on my YouTube channel, we're actually doing my journey out of depression. So there we give tips on how you can get out of depression. If you're already there, how you can get out. But for this part, the live session is ways in which you shouldn't even get into depression in the first place before trying to get out. Okay? So, says Zoye, can you actually hear me? Can you hear me? Just say yes, I can, or yes, or something like that. And we're going to go on with the subject for today. Like I said, today is setting standards, and we're going to use a little bit of mathematics. But don't freak out already. It's easy mathematics, okay? So let's get on. He's not saying anything. Who else is coming? Just say hi and say you can hear me so we can go on. And today our topic is setting standards. Setting standards. I love standards a lot. But, of course, that's why I'm here. I've been a victim of certain standards, breaking and bending them and destroying them. So it got me into serious trouble, and I'm here to actually help someone who's also set them or who doesn't have them at all and wants to set them, and I'll encourage them to do so. Yeah. I guess this is a serious thing today. If you're there, just let me know you're there. And if you can hear me, say, yes, I can, please. I want to know that you can hear me so we can continue. I don't want us to take a very long time today. Just say hello at the comment section, or just tell us you're there, you're connected at 5 and 5. And yeah, Princess is going radio right now. Okay. I'm not so sure what is happening. But I hope all is well and everyone can get me. I trust so. So I'm just going to go on. Like I said, if you don't want to get into depression, you don't want to get into trouble, you don't want to get into any kind of situation that you don't want to be in, you need to set standards. Because the truth is, standards will help you heal. Okay, someone says, adjust your light. I want to see your face clearly. Thank you very much. But can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm worried about you hearing me much more than you seeing me. Because if you can see me and you can hear me, it's kind of futile, right? Okay. So like I was saying, if you want to be in the best place ever, it's not like there are not going to be difficulties or hard-ups or stuff, but when you set standards, it saves you a whole lot of stress, a whole lot of troubles. Because like I said, all the topics we've been talking about so far, they are interconnected. When you set standards, you have right questions to ask people who come to you. We are kind of focusing on relationships quite much, but it's not just relationships as per those who are dating, like girlfriend, boyfriend. No, it's not just that. It's not just fiance. No, we want it to be broad, but this is more or less for those people in relationships. But we have brothers and sisters, we have friends and loved ones, you know. So standards are just like, to me, I'll call them your allowable limits. What are the things you can do? What are your do's and don'ts? What would you allow in a relationship? Even if it's your brother, would you let them abuse you? Would you let them get insultive? What would you allow? So those are what I call standards. So there are kind of unique things in life that you need to set a standard for. When we started this whole discussion, the example we took was sex. So what's your standard when it comes to sex? Are you okay with sex before marriage? Are you okay with sex after marriage? What's your take? What's your stand? What's your take on finances? Are you the one who says spend today and forget tomorrow because life is short? You just don't know if you're going to be in tomorrow. So don't plan about your financial state or your financial future. Are you the person? What's your take on alcohol? Do you think it's okay? Do you think it's not? What's your take on education? Do you think people should study or they shouldn't? What's your take? What's your standard? What's your allowable limit? What's the length to which you can go when you're in a relationship? What's the length to which you can go when it has to do with studies? What's the length to which you can go when it has to do with finances? What's the length you can go? So that's what we're talking about today. So like I said, they're interconnected because some people don't just have standards at all. So of course, they're not going to have questions to ask when they want to get into a relationship. And because of that, they're just going to assume, and then they're going to give blank checks. And in the end, you end up in depression because your expectations are cut off. You're assuming that you and this person are on the same page, meanwhile you're not. That they say they are on the same page with you doesn't necessarily make them to be on the same page with you, you know. That's just the truth. I got to find out while I was already in the relationship that I thought and I was thinking and I was assuming that we're on the same page, but we were not. That got me depressed because I was in between keeping my word and having to please my partner. But then, which standards are you going to hold on to? God's standards or yours? I always emphasize, I always say it, I'm a Christian, so my standards are based on standards on the Bible, biblical standards. But at some point, when you set those standards, for those who have those standards, and I had the standards, I didn't ask questions. Because then I didn't know it was important. Then I thought asking questions meant like you're asking the guy out. You're the one who's wooing the guy instead of the other way around. So I didn't ask questions. But that's not true. I learned that that's not true. So that's why we said don't assume. Ask questions. Because those questions are going to give you a better basis for which to decide. If you have standards, say for instance, one of my standards, which is biblical, is no sex before marriage. So if I meet a guy who says it's okay to have sex before marriage, I have nothing to do to be in that relationship. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But when you're already in and you're sunk in totally and completely, there is always that tendency of, well, you know, he says he's going to marry me, so we can just go on. We'll eventually marry, right? You start thinking of bending slowly but surely. And then even when you're bending and breaking and going down and destroying all those standards, you're still not getting what you bargained for. You're still not getting the guy to love you. You're still not getting the guy to stay there the way you want him to stay. You start getting depressed. That's exactly what happens. So I had standards, but I didn't stick to the standards. I started bending and breaking them. I had standards. I didn't ask questions. So how exactly do I want to paint this picture using the mathematics formula I was talking about? Okay, so it's called sample mean. Sample mean. That's the word. So this is all what that means. Say for instance, there are 4 people, and these 4 people have grades. We want to know the average grade. Say for instance, these 4 people, some people have 10, some people have 15. So that's going to be like 30 plus 20, that's 50. And what's the average of that 50? So it's going to be like 50 divided by 4. So the formula for sample mean is like the total of the scores divided by the number of scores that are there. Okay, this is how I want to relate it to this setting of standards. When we were doing mathematics in school, especially in high school, when you're done getting the sample mean, you need to use the sample mean to get the sample standard deviation. So you need to use that part of the answer, the first answer you get, in another formula, so that you can go on and on and on, and you use different formulas till the end, till whatever you have to get at the end. So if that answer is wrong, whatever you're doing all to the end is 0. Like it's totally 0. But this is the good part about what used to happen in school. So when the teacher wants to give you your grades, he's going to give you like maybe 1 point or 2 points for getting the formula right. So you could actually get the formula right, but you get the answer wrong because your calculations from the beginning is wrong. And since you have to use that calculations till the end of getting the final answer, whatever is needed, every other thing gets wrong because that particular answer is wrong. So you see, it's just the same. When you don't set standards in life, things start going wrong from the beginning. That's already the wrong foundation. So it's already wrong there. So whatever standards you start using from there going down, whatever thing you start deciding, you start doing, going down gets to be wrong. Truth be told, there are going to be beautiful parts along the line, maybe a 2 or 3, like how my teacher is going to give me like 1.2 points for getting the formula right. But I would eventually get the wrong answer. And it's the answer that is really the bigger picture, because say for instance, if the exam was supposed to be like a 25 on 25, I could end up getting just a 5 on 25. Not because I didn't use the right formulas, but those 1 mark each that made it 5 was just because I got the formula right. But I didn't get the right answer. So when that first answer up there, that sample mean is wrong, the sample standard deviation is going to be wrong, obviously, regardless of whether you use the right formula. So when you start from up there, not having standards at all, it gets so bad because you start assuming stuff and you don't ask questions. Then you go ahead giving blank checks which you can't live up to, and the train continues down and down and down, and you find yourself depressed. That's the simple mathematics of life. So do you have standards? Like I said, in my case, I did. Some people don't just have it at all, so that's where the problem just totally and completely destroys them from the beginning till the end. Some people like me had standards, but I didn't ask questions. I still assumed stuff. And it got me into trouble. So that's where I'm believing that the sample mean I calculated is okay, so I continue using it in the formulas to get the standard deviation. And I'm going down. The next thing they ask, I'm still continuing with the same answer. Because the formula that was supposed to be for sample mean was EX on N, which EX stands for the total score, and then N stands for the number of the score. So like I said, 50 on 4, 50 divided by 4, which is going to be like, so the average or the sample mean is supposed to be like a 12.5. That's where it starts getting bad all the way. So do you have standards? Are you ready to stick to those standards? If you don't want to get into depression, set your standards from the beginning and set them right. Standards are not only for relationships, even for work. Do you want to be perfect at your job? Do you want to do the things you want to do? What are your standards? It affects your entire life. Like I said, it already gives you an upper hand on whom to even relate with and not relate with. Because, of course, you need to choose your friends. There are no two ways about it. The people you surround yourself with would have an effect on your life, whether you like it or not. So what are your standards? What are the kinds of friends you want to have? Are your friends the ones that are party freaks? Are your friends the ones that are bookworms, they can study for the world? Are your friends the ones who just go around town gallivanting, having nothing to do? Are your friends the ones who don't believe in hard work? Are your friends the ones who are going to laugh you to scorn if you're doing a hawking business or you're into agriculture? Because people think agriculture is not a job or a job per se, but there are people who are making it in the agricultural field. So what's your standard? Who are the people that you want to surround yourself with? What are the kinds of messages you listen to? Who are the kinds of people you follow on Facebook? Hello? If someone is posting, is one of your followers and all that, and is posting porn and is going through your wall, get to delete them. You have standards. Don't say, oh, no, I'm going to lose a follower. That is not even supposed to be one of your followers in the first place. Delete them. I said so. I'm in the process of doing that. I can't be having standards and having that going through my wall. No. It's unacceptable. We have to really give ourselves a serious talk. What are your standards? What are the kind of friends you relate with? What are the kinds of places you go to? What are the kinds of events you attend? You need to get a standard. Because all your friends are attending it doesn't make it okay for you to attend. if it's not based, if it's not connecting to your standards that you keep. It's when you start breaking and bending them that you start getting into a lot more trouble. And of course, it leads you to depression. Because you can't believe that you failed yourself so bad. You can't believe that you who seem to be able to handle everything, who seems to be able to put everything in check, is failing right now. You can't believe who is a person who can keep to their words, can't keep to their words this time around. Because it doesn't connect to what your standards are. We need to be open enough to put our cards on the table. We need to be open enough to do that. Don't be desperate for relationships. People smell it, especially us ladies. Let me go here, because ladies, we have the yam and the knife, and we make a relationship work, we make a relationship get to start or not. If a guy comes talk to you, right? If you're not interested and you say no, nothing can happen. If the standards are not binding and you say you can't connect with this, nothing is going to happen. So you set the pace, more or less. I know someone is going to be saying, yes, the guys also have to set a standard. Yes, they have to set a standard, but it's more or less about you, because you're the one who is supposed to say the yes and this thing works or not. So hey, ladies, get to step up your game. Yes, you need to step up your game. Because when you put those standards and you put your cards on the table, it helps you know who you should be with or not. It also helps you know what kinds of things you should focus on, what kinds of things you should invest your time and resources on. It helps you in every aspect of life, and most especially relationships. So what are your standards? What standards have you set? Are you sticking to them? If you don't have standards, it's okay. It's okay. Don't freak out. Now is the time. The first time was when you missed it. The next best time is now, like now. So you can decide to set your standards now. You can set standards for everything. Everything in life. Is it education? Is it relationships? Is it finances? Whatever it is. Is it your stand with God? Is it the friends you keep? Whatever it is, you can set standards. And those standards are really going to help you. The one important thing about standards is it gets you focused. It gets you stay on track. That's the beauty about standards. So hey everyone. If you don't have standards, it's time for you to set those standards. If you have standards and you've been breaking and bending them, it's time for you to get a retrospect and say, hey, this is not me. Find you and bring you back. At some point, I started telling myself, maybe my standards are too rigid. So that's why I need to lower them. I need to bring them down. Did I still stay in the relationship? Nada. Yeah. I did not only have to get out of the relationship, I was getting out depressed. When you set your standards, ask God to help you to stick to them regardless. If it means you're going to lose friends, yes, you have to lose friends. Being at the top and staying at the top is very lonely. Yeah, sometimes we don't get to that place where God wants us to be. We don't get to fulfill destiny. We don't get to do the things we want to do because we want to carry everybody along. But it's just a door. Set aside every weight. Set aside every weight. It's just you. But you want to carry everybody along. You want everybody to love you. You want everybody to follow on with your vision. It is not their vision, so some of them are not even going to understand it. It is your vision and you are accountable as an individual for that vision. So set standards and stick to them. I'll say it over and over again. So like I said, if you've already failed in your standards, like I did fail in mine, I got back to myself and I'm fixing them again. And I'm not going to be breaking them or bending them for nobody. And I'm unapologetic about it. You too have to get unapologetic about it. It's the truth. So yes, I got so serious. This is a serious princess today. Because it's a very serious issue. So I don't know about who is out there. I don't know about who is watching. Have you ever set standards and missed them? Oh yes, Sir Eric Jimerfo is here and he's always connected 5 and 5. Thanks for being there. You're the best. Of course, when you make standards and make your friends to work with those standards, be careful not to break them, because you might just disappoint your friends and make them stop believing in you, or even get someone pissed off. That is just outright beautiful. I like it. I just love this. And that's the truth. You don't only get to disappoint yourself, you disappoint even people. And the fun is, you're going to stay in that abusive relationship because you want to prove a point now to people. So, like, I'm the girl. A lot of people see me like this strong, hardcore girl who has it all put together. She can make mistakes. And this is me failing in a relationship. And I can't get out of the relationship because people are going to be like, so you can handle every other thing, but a small relationship you can handle? That was me trying to please people after breaking all my rules and bending them and destroying some of them. And now I was depressed. I couldn't go anywhere. You can get some of your friends really, really pissed off. You can get some people that hold you in high esteem really, really pissed off. But the truth is, don't make it be about those people. Make it be about yourself. When you've realized that that's what has happened, get to work on you. And the other people are going to cue in. So yes, like Sir Eric said, when you make your standards and get your friends to believe those standards, you've put your cards on the table. Do as much as you're doing not to disappoint yourself, to not disappoint your friends. But the first person you shouldn't disappoint is you. But hey, calm down a little. Even when you get to disappoint yourself and those people that hold you in high esteem, you can get back up. You can get back up again. Because I don't want someone going out there, right? We use the example of sex and you say, oh, I already had sex with a guy over and over and over and over again. So let me just get there. Mine is done and dusted. No, it's not done and dusted. You can come back again and decide to live a sexually pure life. Yes, you can. You can set those standards again and live by them. Sure, you can. I don't know about someone out there. I don't know if there's someone who wants to add a contribution to this. I don't know if there's someone who wants to say something that I've probably not said. Thank you so much, Sir Eric, for this amazing contribution. I don't know if there's someone out there who wants to add something. We are almost about getting done. I'm done with what I had to say today on the issue of setting standards. It's very, very important. I can't overemphasize the importance of setting standards. I can't overemphasize it. It helps you not just get carried away with every wind of doctrine. It helps you not to be tossed to and fro. Oh, my friends are going this way, so let me go this way. Oh, all my friends are doing business management, so let me do business management. That's what is raining. Oh, all my friends are doing journalism and mass communication. Oh, everybody's doing this, everybody's doing that. So you just keep going from one place to another because you have nothing that is binding you. You have nothing that is holding you bound. You have nothing that is giving you a focus. We need to set standards in life. We need to. It's just one indispensable thing in our lives. We need it. When you set standards, it's going to be easy for you to ask questions and write questions. And you're not just going to go out there giving blank checks, because you know people's stance on things that are pertaining to what you've set as your standard. So I say it again. I love you so, so very much. And that's why I'm coming out here. See, I'm getting more relaxed and more, should I say, fluent on Facebook Live, which was one of my fears. I'm facing them. And I'm glad to all to all come here. Okay? And Sir Eric says, speaking about sex, many people who preach against premarital sex are into it themselves. So how do you expect me to follow your standards when you mask yourself and do it in disguise? People really need to set an example. That's the truth. So I understand that part that you're talking about, but it shouldn't be about people. So I should not set my standards because people are doing it. That's just the part where I'm talking about everybody is doing it. That everybody is doing it doesn't make it right. So set your standards up as per the Bible. What does the Bible say? Premarital sex is wrong. It doesn't matter who is doing it. It doesn't matter if it's the highest and mighty servant of God or man of God, or even if it's the Pope who is doing it. It doesn't matter. It's not going to make it right. David committed adultery because he was a man after God's heart. God did not say, okay, call adultery a different name. He actually experienced the consequences of that act. He actually, even after apologizing, he experienced the consequences. So it's more or less not about people. It's about you, the individual. That these people fake it and say this is their standard and they're not living to it has nothing to do with you. But you, are you getting those standards and leaving them? And even when you fail, do you get back up? Or you're just going to stay there? I failed already. This is it. I had standards. I broke them. And this is where it led me to. I should have stayed there. I won't be here today talking to you all. But I chose to get back up. Because God is a God of a second chance. He's always waiting with arms open wide. So when setting your standards, it should be between you and what you hold in high esteem, or who you hold in high esteem. I hold God in high esteem and the biblical standards. That you fail doesn't mean you should stay where you failed. You should get back up. And when you're setting your standards, have you in mind, not any other person. Have you in mind, not any other person. Thank you, Sir Isidore Conwy. You say you're joining late, but great topic. Without standards, you become a pushover and an open carrefour. Oh my goodness, I love that. Easily accessible to anyone and everyone. If you could, where's that? If you stand for nothing, you could be swayed into any direction by anything. Thank you so very much. That's so beautiful. I just love that. You could be an open carrefour. That's the one that just struck me. I love it. Easily accessible to anyone and everyone. We don't want to be that kind of person. That's what we're talking about. You see your friends doing this, you go there doing that. You see these people doing this, you go there doing that. Because this group of people that you hold in high esteem are doing this, you're doing it. Even when you know it's wrong. You have your conscience. Okay, so Eric comes again and says, the thing is that I would prefer not to listen to you than to listen to you and discover that you're not living up to your standards. What you tell people who trust you is like a virus to their lives. Yeah, I would say it again. Thanks. That's really a beautiful one. But I would say it again. It's not about those people. It's about you, the individual. What are your own standards? What are your own standards? You can't be sure totally and completely of what someone's standards are if they don't tell you. And if they tell you, you have no way of proving it apart from seeing them while they're living life and going ahead. And there is the possibility that people fail. But they don't end there. The point is, don't end there. When you fail, what do? You get back up. So there's a possibility of people failing. That I set a standard today doesn't mean that I set standards and trust and hope in God that I don't fail. But if I fail, just if I fail, I'm not going to stay in failure because I've disappointed people, because I've disappointed God. God is even ultimate. So that's even the like, it feels like it's going to be the worst. So it's not about people, it's about you. You don't want to get depressed. Don't set standards and break them. You don't want to end up in an abusive relationship. Don't set standards and break them. Because when you start breaking them, you start going down and down and down, and you just keep going down because you feel like, well, I already broke that one, so let me break the next one. Because people keep saying those things like rules are made by man, so they can be broken by man, which is true. But do you want to break those rules? Do you want to break those standards? Are you ready for what the consequences will be when you break those standards? Are you ready for having a child when you break those standards, if you get involved in premarital sex? Are you ready if you get maybe an STI or an STD? Are you ready for that? The consequences are there and they're in your face. So it's about you, the individual. It's not about the next person. Because when we're really worried about what would happen when we fail the next person, we can't live life. We can't live life. It's like I'm giving another person the upper hand over my life. But it has to be about you. What are your standards? What are the standards you're setting to keep you focused, to keep you in check, to make you stay on your lane? What are the standards you as the individual you're putting? Because here we're talking about how to do so you don't get into depression, not the other person. It's not about the other person. It's about you. So let's not so focus on how people see you or how people perceive about you. It's none of your responsibilities. Trust me, there are some people that will normally not even like you, even without knowing your standards. So you can't go about struggling to make everybody like you, or people maybe distrusting you right now and so they can't trust you again even after they've seen that you're a changed person. So we can't go focusing on what people will think or what people will say or what people will do. It should be about you and who you hold in high esteem. So I hold God. It should be about me and God. Oh, I actually failed God in this. But Lord, I'm sorry. Please help me. Give me the grace to be able to stand firm. Give me the grace to be able to keep to this standard. Give me the grace to be able to hold on to my values. You know? Yeah. Sir Isidore says, we may fall, but we must pick up the pieces. Learn the lessons. I love that part. Learn the lessons and keep moving. Also, iron sharpens iron. Someone we look up to, listen to, someone we look up to or listen to might fall. That's true. But I believe it's wise and rational to approach them, understand and know how we could help them to move on, whilst we may look up to others. Self-improvement and building is also very essential, so we too might be able to bring others on track. Beautiful. Like me, this is just a perfect example of this statement you're bringing here. I set standards. I didn't use them very well. I bend and break standards. So I can confidently tell you that setting standards, bending and breaking them is not going to help you. Because I've been there. I learned the lesson. So this is for someone who is probably having standards and about to break or bend them. That is not going to help you. It's not going to be a plus. So stick to your standards. That's the point. When you fall, there was a time my pastor asked me, what if I hear that he falls into adultery? And I'm like, God forbid. Like, no. He's like, cool down, hold down, cool down. Don't freak out. Just answer the question. I'm like, you can't. He's like, answer the question. What is going to happen? And then I thought about it. Of course he's human. Of course he's a pastor. Of course there are people who come to him and say they're coming for counseling, meanwhile they have different agenda. Of course he's an amazing looking man. He's not looking as old as he is. So people come there with different kinds of ideas, different kinds of things they want to do. So what if someone comes there and he falls into temptation and all that? So he's asking me, what if you hear I fall into adultery? And that's when it dawned on me. Yes, he's still human. The truth is that most of the times when we have role models or people we look up to, we kind of mystify them. We kind of feel like they're immortal. They're not human beings, so that they're not liable to make mistakes. They can make mistakes. As long as we're still on planet Earth and we have flesh going on our body, yes, we can still make mistakes. And that's what I said to my pastor. I'm going to be disappointed, but I'm not going to leave God. Because that's what a lot of us do. So, oh, my pastor made a mistake. So I don't think there is God. I stopped going to church. I stopped studying the Bible. Who are you hurting? Yourself. Because that man could actually make that mistake, ask God for forgiveness, move on with his life, and he's going to have a beautiful relationship with God. And you're the one who is going to be suffering. So make it always, always about you. Make it always, always about you. And if you fail, it should not be about what people think. People are going to think. Whether you're succeeding, people will talk. Whether you're failing, people will talk. So there's no time people will not stop talking. There's no time people will not stop having impressions about you. But you have to get back up, even when you fail. I know why Sir Eric is bringing this up and up and up and up again, because of course some people might fail and want to stay there, and they're going to be like, okay, I've lost, this person has lost confidence in me. This person that was looking up to me, I failed them and all that. Yes, I know there is that time where you have to be in that state and you have to come to an agreement. You have to accept in yourself, acknowledge that this is what has happened. I failed me. I set standards and I failed woefully. But what do? Get back up. Okay, so Eric comes back and says again, you're very correct. If you go against your standards, you can still always get back up, because some people are so scared of disappointing their friends, followers. They try to cover up mistakes by making other mistakes. That is so true. I can attest to that because I did that a lot of times. Example, a girl who preaches against premarital sex gets pregnant. She makes things worse by trying to hide it through committing an abortion. That's just perfect. It is a perfect example. So I was in this relationship and it was very abusive. I still couldn't get off because I was trying to prove a point to people. So I'm this girl who has it all figured out. I'm this girl who has it all, in place. So I can't be depressed. I can't be hurting. It's not possible. It's not possible. It can happen. But that was the truth. So I would look for one other thing to cover up that whole phase and everything. And I'm getting distorted. And just like he said, so you get into premarital sex because you preach against it. You get pregnant. You commit an abortion. It's just terrible. So we want to be able to set standards and stick to those standards. We really want to set standards and keep to those standards. Okay, my youngest mommy is here today. Welcome, Madam Mabel Oben. And she says, your standards should be in line with your values. And you have to do everything to uphold your values. Go by your values. Go by your values, people. Thank you so very much, Mommy. Go by your values. So it's about you. Make it about you. It's not about anybody. You're not responsible for what people think or what people perceive of you. It's not your responsibility. We need to know that and believe that to the core of our hearts. As much as we want to not destroy people, because the Bible also says that, but we should not do it at the detriment of living our life. We should not give people the remote over our lives. So we should set our standards. And like I said, our standards for those who are Christians like me is the Bible. Your standards and your values should come through the Bible. They should be there. Is it for work? Is it for education? Is it for when it comes to things that you have to do, places you have to go to, people you have to relate with, and all that? We need to set those standards and we need to set them right. Like I said, when you have wrong standards, it means you already have a wrong sample mean. And when you have to use it in the other equations to calculate the sample standard deviation, you're going to keep getting wrong answers. Few things are going to look beautiful in between because you're going to get the 1 marks for the formulas that you're using. Yes, but it's going to be destructive at the end because you're still going to get the wrong answer in the end. So yes, you might think not setting standards is okay. That's the start of it. And then you start assuming that you're on the same page with the guy or the girl or your brother or your sister or whoever it is that you're in a relationship with. It could be family, it could be work, it could be anything. And then the next thing is, because you're assuming you guys are on the same page, you give a blank check. And then you end up depressed. Because what you thought it was is not what it is. You get depressed because you're torn between keeping your word and pleasing your partner or whoever you're in a relationship with. That is really freaky, freaky scary. Yes, I was there. It's not because I didn't have standards. I had, but I didn't ask questions. And I went ahead to give a blank check because I was assuming. So yes, we're going on. And like I said, we're still continuing with my journey out of depression on my YouTube channel. We're also going to be getting it on this page all the times. This time around, we're going to be getting the full video on our Facebook page. And then you can also get to our YouTube channel, get to like, subscribe, and share. You can also share this page. You can also share this video. So maybe you just don't know. There might be someone on your wall who needs to hear this today. And so I want to thank each and every one of you who was here today. I love your amazing and awesome contributions. And like I say, on this Facebook Live, I'm going to be getting someone whom I'm their fan. Sometimes people go like, oh, I'm your number one fan. They really don't get it. Rather, I'm the one who has you as a fan because you're the one who is encouraging me. You're the one who is like giving me this spark. Do it again. Do it again. Yes, princess. Thank you for being there. Do it again. Do it again. So like, I'm your number one fan. So of course, people who are always present on this live are eventually going to get something special from Princess. Eventually. We're going to do some kind of stuff and someone is going to get something really beautiful from Princess. We're going to be getting a little bit of games and stuff that we're going to do on here. And I hope that sometimes you too can come on live. You could just send me a request and say you want to say something, you want to add something. You must not type it. You can say it. It's beautiful when we're talking together. This is like our family. It's not a monologue. I want all of us to be able to contribute together, to be able to make this work together. So I want to still thank Sir Zoe Mary May for being here today. I want to thank Sir Eric. I want to thank Sir Isidore Conwy. And I want to thank my young mommy, Madam Mabel Olben. Okay, and this is Sir Isidore getting to almost fix us on this one. And he says, you're so right, Eric. Okay, that's to say Eric. And we end up making it worse. This is where having the right friends and entourage is a vitality. It's vitally important, sorry. But we must also have the courage to do right. We must also have the courage to do right. And oh, okay, that one was, I missed that line there. To do right and not just look good before others. It takes courage and humility and wisdom to face the consequences of our mistakes. True, very true. And correct them and right the wrongs. So as Princess say, we must set standards, stick to them, and ensure we're not doing that for others. First and foremost, for ourselves. Yes, let it always be about you. At any point in time, it should always be about you. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and ideas, for the interactions, and for this important reminder. Thank you so much, Sir Isidore. I'm so delighted to have you today. And so this is where we're wrapping up the program for today. I don't know if anybody has any other thing to say. Thank you. Mommy Mabel, she says, great job. Oh, yeah. I'm your mini. Yes. So, yeah. Thanks for all the impact and all that you're doing to make this go ahead. Thank you all so very much. I would love to stay. I can talk for the world. That's what I'm good at, and so I put all my energies to it. Yes. So I can go on and on and on, but of course we have to get to a point where we end for today. So I want to say thank you all once again. And Sir Doye says he's very blessed. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part. Thank you for always encouraging me. He was the one who was supposed to give me a highlight so I don't miss the timing. And he did. He was actually on time trying to give me the timing. So thank you all once again. And I hope that you can get to share this. You can also get to invite people some other time. And now I've braced myself. had the courage. And so I'm telling you, we're always going to come every Thursday at 8 p.m. Every single Thursday at 8 p.m. by the grace of God, that we hope to get to you every Thursday. And so this is a topic coming next week, Thursday. Brace yourself. Are you ready? I know a lot of people are going to be waiting for this, and they're going to be like, what is Princess going to say about this topic? Here we go. Don't start what you can't finish. Yes. Who's ready? I'm so ready for that subject because it's one that is really close to my heart. Don't start what you can't finish. That's our topic for next week. So see you next week, same time, same channel, same page. And I hope that we're going to interact. We're going to discuss between ourselves. People are going to say what they think about it. You can think about it on another angle. I can think about it on another angle. That's the whole idea why we need to interact, so that I can understand your angle, where you're coming from, and some other person can understand a beautiful angle. So I can have 5 angles with which I can look at something which originally I didn't have. Thank you so much for being here today. Sleep on that today. Don't start what you can finish. That's our topic for next week. So until next time, see you again. Love you so very much, but God loves you way more. Bye-bye.